These are my 5 worst takes from the 2025 fantasy football season. Kenneth Walker was one of my favorite value picks heading into drafts, and it turns out he ended up being one of the biggest busts in fantasy football this year. He actually ran well in 2025, but he was limited as far as value opportunities, with Charbonnet vulturing most of the goal line work and Walker's very limited skill set as a receiving back. My absolute worst fade of the 2025 season was actually Jackson Smith-Njigba. Now, my reasoning won't do me any justice here, but with Kubiak coming in, I had my concerns with how often JSN would be on the field in a run-heavy offense that asks a lot of their receivers as run blockers. Sounds ridiculous now, and it obviously didn't end up mattering. If you took my advice on the middle rounds in your fantasy drafts, you likely got burned by DJ Moore, who was clearly an outsider in the first year with Ben Johnson. Rome Odunze jumped him quickly as the number 1, but even worse, he was barely a number 2, seeing just 85 targets this year, which is the lowest mark since his rookie season. If you maybe want to know what not to do in fantasy football next season, go ahead and drop me a follow. But all jokes aside, I will be giving you fantasy football content all off-season long, and I don't get everything wrong. My favorite pick heading into round 1 of fantasy drafts this past season was arguably my worst take of the entire season. I simply thought since everything about this player's offense improved, he'd be in a better spot than he was after finishing as the wide receiver for the year prior. It turns out the skill sets of Trevor Lawrence do not at all match those of Brian Thomas Jr., who was one of the biggest fantasy football busts in 2025.